Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Manchester to Madrid. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I would be finished with these by now, but my team have surprised me. Surprised a lot of us, really. Before we get into it, I want to thank you lot for tuning in, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world, whoever you support. Thank you for joining me to listen to my humble opinion on my team and their Champions League performances. A very, very, very big special thank you to PlayStation UK for sorting me out with the tickets. Most of you guys won't know this, but I'm not working with EA on this anymore, so I'm now venturing out to these countries myself to watch these games, and PlayStation just lent me a helping hand and actually grabbing hold of the tickets. Anyway, last time we spoke seems like such a long time ago. We had just suffered a defeat to Valencia in Spain, missing out on taking advantage of Juventus's slip up to top the group. Very disappointing. The game after that, we lost 3-1 at the hands of one of our biggest rivals in Liverpool, and that result was the final nail in the coffin for our man Mourinho. Well, no longer our man. Ole's at the wheel. That's right, Jose parked the bus one last time, he got off, Ole stepped on, and it was onwards and upwards from there. From his first game in charge, we were a completely different side, winning 5-1 away at Cardiff. We were playing attacking football, we were scoring goals, we were defending quite well, we were posing a threat on the counter-attack. We managed to score 28 goals in 11 games, conceding only 7 in that time, albeit against opposition that a lot of people don't rate. However, we did manage to grab wins against Arsenal and Tottenham away in that time period. That unbeaten run wasn't valid until we faced a side like PSG, according to many football fans across the world. This was going to be our first real test at home, Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, against a very good European side. Here's how that went down. Ooh! Go on, Marcus. Red! What? That is ridiculous. Big save, baby. Oh my God. Oh! He's on. Oh, unlucky. What? You just sent him off. Yep. Frustrating game to watch. It felt like we were in it at the start. We had a good chance, and then we lost Lingard, Martial to injury. Kimpembe should probably have seen red in the first half, and then the ref had another chance to give him a second yellow early on in the second, but he bottled it. We didn't even get a free kick. It was crazy considering the amount of yellow cards he had given out earlier on in the game. They were flying out of his pocket left, right, and center, and then halfway through he decided he didn't want to book anyone anymore until he sent off Pogba late on in the game. But take nothing away from PSG's performance. They were very well drilled, very organized, a threat throughout the entire 90 minutes. And although Man United had a couple chances of our own, I would say they dominated that game and deserved to win, despite the refereeing errors. Like I said, the loss of Lingard and Martial to injury really hindered our attacking play. Sanchez didn't really offer much, which is disappointing. I'm still waiting for him to shine under Ole. Pogba's red card in the 89th minute was just the final blow, really. We'd already lost two of our most important players to injury in the first half, and now Pogba was certain to miss the second leg, so we didn't even know what side we'd be looking like taking into the next leg in Paris. To add to all that, we had 4 games to try and get our form back. Our opponents being Chelsea, Liverpool, Palace and Southampton. Not easy games, 2 of those teams struggling in the league and fighting for every single point, which at this stage of the season can always prove to cause upsets. Not to mention going to a bogey ground in Chelsea where we'd struggled to get wins of late, and facing a Liverpool side who were at the time top of the league and looking in formidable form. Getting a good run of results was always going to be difficult here, but we managed it. We took a 2-0 win away at Chelsea with Pogba and Herrera stealing the show. And then in one of the most bizarre, we lost 3 players to injury in the first half and Rashford was struggling for the full 90. So by the end of the 90 minutes, we were almost ecstatic to take away a 0-0 draw with a side so weakened by injury. Liverpool did have injuries of their own as well, but I wouldn't say to the same extent that we had. If I was a Liverpool fan, to be honest, I would have felt a little bit disappointed by the result that day. Liverpool fans, if you're watching this video, let me know your thoughts on that game in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Then in our trip away to Palace in London, we managed to pick up a 3-1 victory. How can I not mention Lukaku's 2 goals in that game? The chances fell to him and he took them absolutely brilliantly. Very hard fought game. Palace did not make it easy. And talking of not making it easy, the game against Southampton at Old Trafford. My God, a game full of remarkable goals, fantastic strikes from both sides, a 3-2 victory, a well-fought victory, coming from behind to win at Old Trafford. That was all the confidence that we needed to go into the game against PSG. Now, not many people were holding out hope for us. I wasn't expecting big things, expecting being the key word. I was, however, very hopeful on the day that things might go our way. In fact, I sent a message to Rio Ferdinand replying to his story. I said to him, I feel like it's going to be one of those against all odds kind of nights. Chelsea had that season a while back where they weren't doing so well in the league, but somehow persevered and went through to the finals of the Champions League and then won it. And that's the kind of feeling I had, like in my gut. It was a gut feeling I had that day. I wasn't going to get my hopes up. I was just going to go and see how things turned out. And here's how they did turn out. What a game. The most incredible night of my life, football-wise. Read into that what you will. I haven't stopped smiling since that full-time whistle blew. I don't even know what to say next. I'm still smiling. I'm thinking about it now. I'm reliving the moment. One thing I said from the start is that we were going to have to capitalize on their mistakes. We were going to have to press them into mistakes, need them to make those mistakes, and then capitalize and get goals whenever we could. PSG are a very good football inside. They know how to keep the ball. They know how to move it. They can pull your defense apart in 3-4 passes like that. What I didn't expect was for the first mistake to come so early on. And Lukaku, the man that had been ridiculed for so long by so many, first of all, he followed Rashford's press, anticipated the mistake, quickest to react, got to the ball, took it round the keeper with composure and held off Thiago Silva at the same time, one of the best defenders in the world. And then, from where I was sat, I didn't realize how ridiculous the angle was. I watched the replay. For a guy his size to finish that, you have to applaud him. Very, very good first goal. And all of a sudden, we're believing. But from the minute the game restarted, PSG dominated. We could not get a sniff of the ball. And when we did get a sniff, they got it straight back. I think early on, the possession stats were something like 85, 88% possession to them. And they were relentless in their attack, constantly coming after us. And they got the goal that they deserved in the 12th minute. Bailly going to sleep at the back. And Bailly, I love you so much, but you had a bit of a poor game. He fell asleep at the back post. Bernat capitalized and tucked it away. And it was 1-1. And the pressure continued after that goal. And at that point, I'm sitting there thinking, this is going to be a long night. I still have that feeling in my heart that we can get something here. But watching the game, I can't see where it's going to come from. So I just watch on in literally nothing but hope. Literally. One thing I think really changed the game was Bailly's injury. He had to get subbed off, and Diogo Dalot, who had been playing very well of late and came on against Southampton to impress and turn the game, came on and did a similar thing against PSG. Once he came on, we had a bit more attacking impetus. We were holding onto the ball a bit better. Pereira, McTominay and Fred working very well in the midfield together, or as well as they could, against a very good PSG midfield. And then there was another mistake on that right side of the defense. Rashford with a chance, but he squandered the cross. Moments later, Rashford on the ball again, had a shot from range, speculative effort, and one of the world's best goalkeepers in Gigi Buffon spills the ball. To be fair, it was a very, very good strike. It was a dangerous strike. One of the ones that you would hate as a goalkeeper. That bounce in front of you, very difficult to handle. But a keeper of Buffon's caliber, you expect him to deal with it. He didn't, and who was first to react again? That guy Lukaku. Now 6 goals in 3 games, and really just silencing the critics. I tell you what, I'm very, very happy for him. I've been, like, my heart's been yearning for him to turn things around, and under Ole, he appears to have done that. He's so much more confident on the ball. He's making wiser decisions. He has that support in attack. He's not so isolated up top anymore. I feel like, no disrespect to Mourinho, I feel like the tactics that Mourinho was playing with Lukaku made it very hard for him to work on his own. With players further up the pitch attacking more to support him, it's a lot easier for him to do his job. That's what I feel like. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Like I said, I'm no pro. I'm just giving you my humble opinion. We go into half-time with the 2-1 lead, and I'm thinking, could this be it? Could this be our night? I'm also seeing the way PSG are playing and realizing that, do you know what? They could very likely score again. And they did that in the 56th minute. Di Maria with a fantastic finish past De Gea. However, he was offside, and I was thanking my lucky stars. In fact, when that got flagged offside, that's when I was like, do you know what? This could actually be our night. Mate, wait, I just need a moment because this is mad. I'm reliving it as I'm telling you. I'm actually reliving it. The rest of the game is pretty much PSG attacking. Mbappé with 2 very good chances to break past our defense and score, however unable to take them. That's something you don't say a lot about that kid. That kid is dangerous. And when he's missing chances like the chances he had, I'm thinking more and more, this could be our night. Let me take a moment to credit our back line who put their bodies on the line for the whole game. Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, you were incredible. Incredible. I cannot fault you. Fred, McTominay, Pereira in the middle, working very hard to win the ball back, pressing, not making it easy for them to sit on the ball and pick us apart. The youngsters who came on, Greenwood, Chong, I applaud you. I envy you so much. I'm so proud of the performances that you put in. Not fazed by the occasion at all. As Man United, we did what people had done to us for so many years, since the end of the Fergie era basically. So many teams that people would consider lesser than us had come to Old Trafford and they'd frustrated us and just stayed in the game. And when you stay in the game, you've always got a chance of winning. And that's exactly what we did to PSG. We stayed in the game, and then let's talk about that penalty. At first, I didn't even know we got a corner. I was like, oh, Dalot squandered a chance. Next thing I know, I'm seeing the ref point to the corner. Dalot's appealing. I think maybe he's asked the referee for a corner and got it. Next thing I know, the ref's doing this. I'm wondering what's he calling VAR for? Then it comes up on the screen, penalty review. My heart is in my throat at this point. Like hair is beating hair. Everyone's waiting anxiously, I'm waiting anxiously. And then he comes back on the field and he points to the spot and I'm just there like, shit then, this is happening, this is happening. This is literally the most intense moment of my journey so far this year in the Champions League. Probably the most intense live moment of football that I've ever seen. I'm including the last minute Martial winner against Everton to send us into the FA Cup final. I'm including the Jesse Lingard extra time screamer with 10 men against Crystal Palace that won us that final. This live moment is by far the most intense live moment that I've ever been lucky enough to witness as a United fan. I felt sick. Like, when I tell you my heart was racing like 1,000 beats per minute, even thinking about it, my heart's starting to beat fast again. I didn't want to watch. I felt like I couldn't watch, but at the same time, I didn't want to miss a thing. And I'm pretty sure every Man United fan in the world felt the exact way that I felt at that moment. And then he did it. He bagged it. He scored 3-1. It's happened. It happened. It happened. Like, I cannot put into words how I was feeling. It was insane. After 10 minutes of stoppage time, the ref blows the final whistle. The players sprint onto the pitch across to the away fans. And I'm just there like, shit then. We did it. Going back to the penalty thing, my opinion on it, I think it's very harsh. It's very harsh on Kimpembe. I feel so bad for the guy watching it back. At the same time, I could go back to the fact that he could probably have been sent off and should probably have been sent off in the first leg. At the end of the day, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I feel bad for him. His arm's not in an unnatural position for a jump, but it's out and it's made his body bigger, and one could argue that that has given him an advantage. All I know is that if I was a PSG fan, or if that was the other way and that was happening to Man United, I'd be fuming. So I can understand PSG fans' frustration, but that's football and sometimes that stuff happens. With that being said, we're through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That means Manchester to Madrid will continue for at least one more episode. I don't think many people actually expected us to get this far, especially with 10 outfield players missing going into that second leg game and a 2-0 deficit. Like, no one's ever come back from that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yo, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my experience on the game. I hope you enjoyed watching the game. If you're a Man United fan or a neutral, I hope it was entertaining for you. PSG fans, commiserations. I wish you all the best in your domestic competition. And on the 15th of March, I find out where I'm off to next. The next round of the Champions League is drawn then. So once I know, I will make arrangements to fly out to wherever it is and continue this journey for you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Let me know why in the comments below so I can try and improve, and let me know your thoughts on everything that's happened. I will talk to you guys in the bizzle. Peace.